got this old boxing bell I'm looking to sell. It was hand signed by Sonny Liston.
That is cool.
Let's see how it sounds.
A little hard there.
Oh, okay. That'll get your attention.
Here. You know, you don't have to get that close to the wall, dude. This thing's a lot faster than I thought it was.
Chumlee loses the showcase keys, and Rick looks like he's about to declare a national emergency, while Rick fires off insults, and Chum just stands there grinning like this is a comedy show instead of a business.
Chum, where's the keys for these showcases?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You were the last one with them. I saw you over here.
I lost them.
You lost the keys.
I didn't lose them, but I don't know where they're at.
Chumlee, you'd lose your ass if he wasn't attached to you.
A seller walks in with a 1977 Dodgers pennant signed by Frank Sinatra, and suddenly Rick's curiosity kicks in. Sinatra barely signed autographs, so Rick's expression screams, "This better not be a Sharpie fairy tale."
Dodgers pennant that I bought at an auction, and I noticed a signature on it.
Okay, that looks like Frank Sinatra. Oh, Blue Eyes, huh? He probably was a Dodgers fan. I knew I didn't like him.
The guy wants $750. Baseball and Sinatra feel like the most random crossover ever, so Rick calls in an autograph expert before even thinking about cash.
Kind of strange that he actually signed it. He was really known for not signing autographs. I mean, this guy rolled with a crowd of really big dudes that if you ran up to him and asked for a signature, you'd probably get shoved on your ass.
Out in the parking lot, a full-blown DeLorean time machine replica rolls up like we've shifted into a sci-fi episode. Rick's inner child wakes up instantly, because who doesn't want to yell, "Great Scott," at work?
I have a roll-up gate. Pull it inside.
Okay, I'll go get it.
All right.
I like it when people bring cars to the shop, because generally, I get to take them for a spin.
The DeLorean time machine from Back to the Future.
The owner shows off every glowing gadget and homemade detail, clearly proud of his decade-long build. Rick cuts through the movie magic with one brutal question. Does it actually drive?
He's got a weird history. I mean, basically, DeLorean, he was famous for designing some really cool cars, but then he goes off and starts his own car company. He came up with a stainless steel body, which was really cool in the early 80s.
They take it for a spin, and Chumlee starts pressing buttons like he's trying to launch a rocket. The engine sputters, Rick panics, and the dream of time travel turns into the reality of old-school mechanical struggle.
Let's go back to the day Rick was conceived and stop it from happening.
So what's all this back here?
Let me show you. A lot of these parts are military aircraft parts, custom-made aluminum. This, of course, is the famous Mr. Fusion, which is made out of a coffee grinder.
Back at the shop, Rick admits it looks amazing, but drives like a stressed-out lawnmower. The seller aims for nearly 6 figures. Rick counters with 10 grand, and the Picasso comparison hits like a verbal knockout.
This thing looks pretty futuristic, but underneath, this is some ancient technology.
Yeah, this thing lost its appeal, Rick. It's hot, slow, and it smells like gas.
Yeah. The downside is it rides just like an old DeLorean.
Meanwhile, Rick gives Chumlee a whistling key finder like he's training a distracted golden retriever. Corey immediately hides the keys again, and Rick mutters that this place feels more like recess than retail.
Hold them for me all day?
Not a bad idea.
No, we have a little key finder.
Okay.
Check this out.
Oh, wow.
All you gotta do is whistle and it beeps. Here, try it.
The Sinatra expert arrives and confirms the signature is legit, complete with proper ink flow and pen pressure. This pennant just got a whole lot more interesting.
Him and Tommy Lasorda were as close as could be. So on April 7th, 1977, which is the same year as that pennant, he came out opening day, sang the national anthem for him, and they bonded ever since then.
The item's valued around $600, and negotiations kick off fast. They settle at $475, which is wild considering the seller only paid $25. Talk about a home run flip.
The ink analysis, looking at the exemplars side-by-side comparison, I feel that Frank Sinatra signed this pennant.
Yes.
So it's still worth nothing, right?
Well, not exactly. The signature isn't as strong as I'd like to see it. It's about a 7 or an 8.
Next up, a self-winding stock ticker machine from the early 1900s clunks onto the counter looking like industrial art. The seller wants up to $14,000, and Rick's laugh basically answers that request.
So the glass comes off?
Yes, pull it straight up.
This was the equivalent of a very expensive computer in an office building a long time ago. A dozen wires had to be run straight to your office building from the stock exchange.
Rick offers $2,500. The seller pushes back at $3,500, and they land at $3,000. The guy bought it for $30, so that payday grin is completely justified.
The way these wheels are, it's all letters and numbers. I mean, literally, a story would start coming out. Edison invented the first really reliable one, and that was Edison's first really big invention. The reason why they called it self-winding is because earlier ones you actually had to wind up like a clock.
To close it out, Chumlee is flying the key finder around the shop like it's a toy helicopter. Rick looks 1 second away from losing it, and honestly, that's the perfect snapshot of this entire chaotic day.
The deal. I'll meet you right over there and I'll write you up, okay?
Okay, it's yours if it drops and breaks something.
I understand.
The episode detonates instantly with Chumlee accusing Rick of sneaking off for hair plugs, and I was not emotionally prepared for that level of chaos. Rick insists he's heading to teach a college business class, but the way everyone's staring at him, zero respect. This man walked in and got roasted before the theme music finished.
All right, guys, I have to leave here in a few minutes.
You got a doctor's appointment?
You got a consultation for hair plugs, don't you?
Oh my God, Rick, does it come down to this?
I am not getting hair plugs. There's a local college I am giving a lecture at.
About what?
First seller strolls in holding a first edition of A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, and Rick practically lights up like he found buried treasure. The kicker? The guy admits he's never even read it, which feels illegal when you're holding literary history in your hands.
What do we got here?
I have a first edition Mark Twain that I'd like you to look at.
Okay, A Yankee in King Arthur's Court. So have you ever read it?
No, I haven't read this one.
Rick immediately flips into full History Channel mode, breaking down Mark Twain's background like he's defending a thesis. The seller's nodding along politely, but Rick is absolutely thriving explaining 19th century time travel like it just dropped on Netflix.
So much over the years.
I can imagine.
Mark Twain is born in Nevada. Did you know that?
I did not. I would have thought he was a Southerner from the books that he wrote.
Yeah, Samuel Clemens was born in Missouri, but when he was in Virginia City, Nevada, that's when he started taking up the pen name Mark Twain.
The seller asks for $1,500, and Rick smartly calls in Rebecca before risking a single dollar. You can feel the tension building because this is either a classy payday or a very awkward reality check.
Just so you know, books usually just have one copyright date.
Okay.
If a book is made in 1889, they might make a whole run of them and then sell out, and 2 months later they gotta come out with a second edition. So it's all be in the same year. So what did you want to do with it?
I'm looking to sell it.
Rebecca walks in ready to analyze, and Rick greets her like she's delivering sacred scrolls. She instantly claps back at one of his obvious comments, and I'm loving the confident expert energy.
Guy brought in what he says is a first edition Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. Some people call me a bookworm, but I don't know nearly as much about books as Rebecca does. So I'm calling her down to help me out.
She starts dissecting printing variations like a forensic scientist, talking mixed states and subtle details that make my head spin. Rick nods along bravely, but his expression screams, please, let this be worth something.
And what are your concerns?
Well, first off, it's in a little rough shape. And is it a first edition and what's it worth?
Right, okay. It's actually pretty complex because there were a lot of copies that were being run off, and it was a really disorganized system, this particular publisher.
Rebecca drops the value at $1,200 to $1,300, which is solid, but not yacht money. Rick wastes no time sliding in with a $700 offer, and the smoothness of that lowball, ice cold.
But how did the early ones and the late ones get in this one?
Accident, because they're not just using one press, so it's not all in order. They've got a bunch of different presses going at the same time, and then they just grab sheets from all of them, put them together haphazardly.
After a little hesitation, the seller agrees to $700 and tries to frame it as sending the book to a loving home. Rick looks way too pleased for someone who just shaved hundreds off a Mark Twain classic.
Well, I started at 15. She says it's worth 13. I trust you. If you're interested in it, just give me a fair price.
I'd give you $700 for it.
Can't do a little bit more?
Oh, really? I just heard, if you trust me, just give me a good price and I'll take it.
Rick takes the stage at a local college and jokes that the shop is world famous because the sign says so. I can't even lie. He actually sounds inspiring, talking about hustle and learning from mistakes. When asked about failure, Rick pulls out the Henry Ford example like he's been waiting for that moment his entire life. The fact that he gets through the speech without family heckling feels like character development.
I'm here at a local college. I got invited here to do a lecture on how to run a small business. So I got my fancy clothes on and come on down and gonna give it a shot. I'm Rick Harrison. I own the world famous gold and silver pawn shop. Over the years, people have asked me, why is it world famous? Because it says so on the side of the building. I like to do public speaking.
Back at the shop, a psychiatrist casually brings in antique bone drills, once used to release evil spirits, and I almost spit out my drink. Is exactly the reaction you'd expect when medieval surgery enters the chat.
This is an antique bone drill set. Dates about 1890s.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're a doctor.
That's right.
Because doctors are the only people that bring this freaky crap in to sell to me.
Then a seller shows up with a 1953 Peter Pan animation cell asking $20,000, and Chumlee practically short circuits. He counters with $500 like he's buying a yard sale lamp, and the seller shuts that down immediately.
We have a 1953 original Peter Pan Tinkerbell presentation piece.
This is pretty cool, man. Are you a Peter Pan fan?
Big time.
We close with Chumlee asking if anyone called Rick Professor Dick, and the shop completely loses it. Rick tries defending both his lecture and his turtleneck, but that sweater is not surviving the jokes.
So, you gonna tell us how to go?
How many people called you Professor Dick?
No one called me Professor Dick.
Spitwads hit you, or?
Nope.
How many people fell asleep?
Everyone was really engaged. They were listening to me and asking me questions.
Two original David Mann paintings walk into the shop, and suddenly, biker history is sitting on the counter. Rick's eyes light up because this guy basically defined outlaw motorcycle culture, and the seller's dreaming of $4,000 each for vacation money. Pressure's on instantly.
So where did you get these?
From a friend of mine, Red. Red and David Mann were longtime friends. Me and Red were friends, and here we are.
Okay, cool.
The seller explains he got them through a friend named Red who actually knew Mann, which already sounds legendary. Rick starts breaking down how Mann's Easy Rider art shaped the entire chopper aesthetic, and you can literally see him battling between business mode and super fan mode.
I absolutely love them. Sort of want them for myself. Do you want to sell them?
Yes, I do.
And how much do you want for them?
$4,000 apiece.
To tell you the truth, I have no idea if that's a good price or not.
Brett, the art expert, steps in and confirms they're authentic, which immediately shifts the energy in the room. Then he values one at $2,500 and the other around $2,000. And you can feel the seller quietly recalculating that vacation budget.
A lot of money for these things, and I have no idea what they go for. So I called in Brett so I could get his opinion. David Mann's.
These are them, huh?
To me, they're like incredibly, deeply cool.
Rick opens negotiations at $3,000, trying to stay sharp, but the seller confidently counters at $3,500. Rick admits he's buying with his heart, not his head, and caves at $3,500. Just look at that grin. He wanted those paintings bad.
What's your best price on these?
$35.
You know, this is a job where you're not supposed to use your emotion.
Mm-hmm.
These are just so incredibly cool. $3,500, you got a deal, man.
All right, good deal.
Okay.
Then we jump to a 1970s spy pen radio, and Rick instantly turns into a nostalgic kid again. The seller wants $300, and honestly, it looks way too clean for something that old. Suspiciously clean.
Spy pen radio.
Cool. Did you get this out of the back of a comic book?
Yes.
Okay. Wouldn't you have loved to have this when you were a kid?
I mean, maybe if I was born in the 60s.
Rick explains the vibration-based sound trick like he's hosting a science show, and I'm not gonna lie, it's kinda cool. He throws out $150. The seller accepts immediately, and that quick yes tells you Rick probably nailed the deal.
This is weird because it was for kids, and it was generally they would play with it for a week and it was gone. So, you know, I imagine there's not a whole lot of them out there. I am going to go out on a limb here and offer you $150 because I have no idea what this thing is going to go for.
Next, Rick checks out a late 1800s sulky, basically a one-person horse cart with a dramatic name. The seller asks $1,250, but admits he'd take $750, and you can see Rick's wheels turning fast.
Hey, Rick. How you doing?
We're good. So this is a sulky, right?
Yep, harness race.
You can actually haul ass on it.
Yeah. Well, this one was a racing sulky.
Interesting. They were called a sulky because you were riding around by yourself and you were sulking, right?
Restoration would cost around $750, which makes this a gamble, and Rick knows it. He offers $950. They settle at $900, and since the seller only paid $300, that smile walking away says everything.
I mean, is the wood good enough to restore?
You're not going to get the splits out over here, but we can bring them down, sand everything down, and tone all the splits down. We'll sandblast the wrought iron. The bands on the wheels, we'll take them off, sandblast them.
Then, in 1984, Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA tour jacket hits the counter, and Rick immediately respects the history. The seller wants $500 and claims it's crew issued, but Rick's not falling for anything without expert backup.
1984, Born in the USA, Bruce Springsteen tour jacket only given to tour crew.
Okay.
So where'd you get it?
I Bought it in an estate sale, Chicago.
Warwick examines it and confirms it's real, but just a CBS promotional jacket, not actual crew gear. He pegs it at $250 to $300, and wow, you can almost hear the seller's expectations crashing.
So what's going on? What do we got?
I know tour jackets don't usually sell well. This is from the boss, and I just want to get your quick opinion on it.
Born in the USA, 1984. It tells you right there, June 1984.
Rick explains he'd have to frame it just to resell it, which would eat up any profit. He passes on the deal, and even though it's still cool memorabilia, sometimes cool doesn't mean profitable.
$700.
Okay.
This one. But the difference was that one said Bruce on the front of it.
Okay.
Embroidered on. I think that the fair price on this at retail is $250 to $300.
And because this is Pawn Stars, Chumlee builds a cardboard submarine called the USS Chum to fix Rick's childhood toy trauma. Rick laughs and gives him an A for effort, but no day off. And honestly, it looks like something made during arts and crafts.
I wanted to give your dad something nice. Pretty good, huh? Hey, there he is.
What's this?
Check it out. The USS Chum. Submarine you always wanted.
That is the dumbest looking submarine I ever seen in my life.
By the end, Rick scored iconic biker art, a spy gadget, and a vintage sulky while walking away from the boss's jacket. Add in a cardboard submarine for chaos, and this episode is nostalgia, negotiation drama, and pure Pawn Stars madness.
Did I get a couple hours off?
I think you already took a couple hours off building it.
You two are really okay with this.
It was a very nice gesture. Thank you, Chum.
A guy walks in with what looks like a mad scientist's cigar accessory from the 1920s, and Rick immediately clocks it as potentially explosive. The seller casually asks for $1,500 while Rick studies it like it might jump off the counter and attack him.
This is an antique cigar store countertop cigar lighter.
Do you know what year it is?
About 1920, 1930, right in there.
Okay.
What happens is you've got this little wire at the end that jumps a spark to the rim of this reservoir, which originally would have been gasoline.
Turns out it runs on reproduction batteries and lights cigars with a spark hitting an asbestos wick, because apparently we needed more danger in one device. Rick thinks it's cool, but not burn the shop down cool, so he fires back with $900.
So it actually works.
It actually does work. What I've done with it is I've actually put in some reproduction batteries that look like batteries at the time. I wanted to look correct.
Damn.
The seller pushes to $1,300, and now the negotiation is hotter than the lighter itself. Rick nudges up to $1,000, probably wondering if insurance covers vintage electrocution.
Because they were always just a novelty to begin with. I guess the upside is they'd be tough to steal. Do you have any lighter fluid?
I do.
Shockingly, the seller takes the $1,000, and they shake hands like a deal just went down in a spy movie. Rick admits the thing still freaks him out, but hey, cigar guys love drama with their smoke.
The character of what it was used for, so I left in cigar burns, and of course the top has a great patina to the nickel finish.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you $900 for it.
$900. I think given Vegas and having no problem with people that smoke cigars all the time.
Next in walks a literal piece of American scandal, a check signed by Aaron Burr, the man who made dueling very, very personal. The seller asks for $2,010 as a cheeky Hamilton reference, and Rick's eyebrow practically launches off his face.
Hey, how you doing? Very good, thank you. I have a check from Aaron Burr I'd like to show you.
Okay, that is definitely cool. So, Aaron Burr used to be Vice President of the United States. You know Alexander Hamilton, the guy in the $10 bill?
Yeah.
This is the guy that killed him.
The check dates back to 1788 and was written for 3 pounds, actual silver weight money, not pocket change. Rick explains that controversy can boost interest, but that cancellation mark slicing through the signature? Yeah, that's a problem.
What's that dollar value?
3 pounds back then was literally 3 pounds of silver. The equivalent of $3,000, $4,000.
So this is a big check.
Your average worker maybe made 15, 20 pounds a year. So this was a good chunk of money.
Time to call in the expert, and Stewart studies the signature like it's a crime scene. He confirms it's authentic, classic Burr handwriting and all, but drops the value bomb at $750.
This is the item you called me about? This is the item. This is an Aaron Burr canceled check. Very cool.
I own Stewart Let's Historic Documents, a firm that buys, sells, authenticates, and appraises historic documents. Rick trusts no certificates of authenticity, so whenever he gets an item he has a question about, he calls me up, and I'm happy to come on down.
You can literally see the seller's $2,010 dream evaporate in real time. Rick starts at $500, because of course he does.
I was hoping for more than that. It's a shame to hear.
Well, Aaron Burr sort of has a, for lack of a better better word, a negative reputation than collecting fields, and reputation is collectability.
Errol, I've seen cutouts go for better prices than that. I'm not sure that I agree with it.
They go back and forth, tossing numbers like they're playing financial ping pong. They finally settle at $610, and Rick walks away grinning with a slice of chaotic U.S. history.
Painting on the frame, or is that for the check?
Well, that's not an oil painting.
It's a reproduction of an oil painting, but the framing's already been done, and that's an expensive procedure.
Probably cost me like $25 to get something framed
It's
like
listed as an antique wood frame.
Then a woman rolls up with a 1960 Chevy Corvair and a $10,000 price tag like she's delivering a classic car fairy tale. Rick's intrigued. First-year model, bold design, but Corey looks like he already senses mechanical heartbreak.
This is a 1960? It was the first model year. In 1960, if you were like an 18, 19-year-old kid having this car, you were cool. It was a modern, slick-looking car.
She claims it only slips gears at low speeds, which is basically saying it only malfunctions when you're moving. Rick takes it for a drive and immediately smells trouble. Literally exhaust fumes and shaky steering.
Designed everything to make this car. It's got a rear air-cooled engine, independent suspension. They took some chances making this car. You know, a lot of guys will argue to death that these things are not dangerous. You just got to know how to drive them right.
Rick calls it a death trap without even trying to sugarcoat it. And honestly, you could feel Corey clenching the entire ride. Back at the shop, Rick throws out $3,000 because repairs would eat him alive.
Where in the world did you get the number $10,000 on this car?
Well, that's about what I have into it.
What does that got to do with the price of tea in China? I could buy a convertible that's completely redone for $10,000.
She refuses to budge from $8,000, holding on to that dream price like it's glued to the hood. Rick walks away, and sometimes that's the most dramatic move of all.
God, son.
There was no way I'd even go close to that. If you were gonna force me to make an offer, I'd offer you $3,000.
I couldn't take that.
We're way too far apart. Thanks for coming by, though.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, prank wars explode inside the shop when Corey rigs an air horn under Chum's chair. Chum claims he's prank-proof, and the old man threatens to bury both of them if it continues. Drama overload.
What's going on, Corey?
What's up, Grandpa?
Oh, just came over.
Chumlee thinks he's prank-proof, but I invited him to the conference room for a special meeting where I set something up that will even the score.
By the end, Rick scores a dangerous electric lighter and an infamous autograph, but dodges a mechanical money pit. Cigars, duels, shaky cars, and shop chaos. Just another unpredictable day at the counter.
Or they can be like this one. I wanted to fall in love with this thing, but a bad transmission and sloppy steering, I just couldn't make the romance work.
We start off with a guy bringing in what he swears is a Confederate Arkansas toothpick, supposedly dug up near a Civil War massacre site. Rick's listening, but that handle looks way too flawless for something that allegedly spent 150 years underground, like not even a splinter.
My brother dug it up under a farmhouse in Bell Buckle, Tennessee, close to where there was a Civil War massacre. It's made from a horse file. You still see the file engravings on the blade.
Rick keeps it polite, but you can see the doubt written all over his face. He admits the style matches the era, yet that suspiciously perfect condition has him calling in a blade expert because if it's real, we're talking serious Civil War money.
Sometimes people's stories just don't add up. Even though this is the right style for a Confederate era knife, and it definitely looks old, it doesn't look like it's been buried in the ground for over 100 years.
The expert delivers a half win that feels more like a letdown. The blade checks out, but the handle's condition screams, "Not buried for a century," dropping the value to around $500. Maybe $1,500 if fully legit.
Earlier, a guy brought in a knife he claims is from the Confederate Army. If it's real, it could be worth some serious money. I called my buddy Jeff down, and hopefully he can figure this one out.
Then Rick and Corey check out a 1970 Honda Z600 that's so tiny it looks like it could fit in the trunk of another car. The seller claims it's the first one off the boat, but it hasn't run in 15 years, and now they're talking about starting it with ether. Corey looks stressed.
Corey and I are on our way to go check it out. So what do we got here, man?
It's a 70 Honda 600.
All right.
This is like the first one off the boat.
There's not a lot of them left.
Yeah, because every time one got in a car accident, they were done.
You can step on it and the party's over.
The guy asks for $4,000 and Rick practically laughs out loud. They counter with $400. The seller tries tossing in a can of ether like that seals the deal, and Rick walks away without blinking.
Oh, we know it'll run. When was the last time you put fresh gas in it?
Oh, about 15 years ago.
This would make a great restoration project. They look cool, and historically, they were the beginning of an era. But this thing needs a lot of work, so I'm gonna have to get it for cheap.
Next up, someone brings in a Rolex allegedly owned by Bernie Madoff. And yeah, that Bernie Madoff. Rick's intrigued but not impressed, because owning a Ponzi King's watch isn't exactly a flex.
How you doing?
Pretty good. I have something I'd like to show you. It's Bernie Madoff's Rolex.
Who's Bernie Madoff?
He's the one that put together the Ponzi scheme and stole billions and billions of dollars.
Oh, that rat.
Yeah, that rat.
The seller says he paid $32,000 at auction and wants $75,000, which makes Rick's eyebrows jump. The dial looks way too clean for a 1936 Rolex, and you can practically see the suspicion kicking in.
I have the auction guide and it's lot number 234, 18 karat vintage Rolex, serial number, and 1936. It's been professionally restored. So
Oh, that's a scary word right there.
In the back, Rick confirms the dial and hands were replaced. And just like that, the value nosedives. What could have been worth $35,000 drops to about $10,000. And Rick is not buying the whole Madoff pedigree pitch.
Earlier, a guy brought in a 1930s Rolex that belonged to notorious con man Bernie Madoff. It could be worth some serious dough, but only if it's all original. So I'm taking off the back of the watch to get a closer look.
Then a guy storms in with a vintage boxing bell he claims is signed by Sonny Liston and immediately rings it at full blast. The old man looks ready to explode, and Corey tosses out a $400 offer hoping that signature is real.
So where'd you get this, man? Well, my buddy, he owned a gym. It closed down a few years back, and he gave it to me as a gift. I don't really know too much about it. It's an old bell, and as you can see on the back here, so it was signed by Sonny Liston. That is cool.
Cue the expert, and it's bad news. The autograph is fake. The old man goes full victory lap mode roasting Corey, and honestly, the told you so energy is unmatched.
Guys call me in whenever they need signatures examined, and I'm the man for the job.
See ya, old man. How are you, sir? Oh, I'm all right, Drew. I got a headache, so I'm not going to get up today.
That's okay.
Bought this bell the other day.
After that, a massive 1957 arcade bowling machine rolls in like it owns the place. The seller wants $6,000. Rick offers $1,000 because it needs serious restoration, and shockingly, the guy agrees.
Pretty awesome, isn't it, Rick?
Yeah, it's pretty neat, but it's awfully big. So what can you tell me about it?
We got a 1957 UMC team bowling alley.
The outside still looks vintage cool, but the inside is basically fried. Rick sees profit potential anyway, and I'm just hoping that thing actually fits through the door.
You know, I'd give you $1,000 for it, and I shouldn't even be paying you that.
$1,000? How about $1,000 and $500 in trade in the shop?
Nope, I'll go $1,000.
$1,000. $1,000.
Okay, it's a deal. Go write them up, Chum.
By the end, Corey's eating humble pie over the fake signature, the knife seller's big Civil War dream shrinks fast, and Rick avoids dropping serious cash on a tampered Rolex. From tiny cars to fake autographs, this shop was chaos wrapped in history, and I loved every second of it.
So, Drew, you think it's fake?
Yes, it's absolutely fake.
Told you so, Corey.
Oh, yeah?
Damn it, Corey. You're an
Take it easy, Drew. All right, thanks, guys.